live 5 minutes away from the plant.
Oh, yeah, so we're really close.
And so I can I'll put my cell number, and that's the best, frankly, that's the best way to get it to, because
Is weekdays or weekend days better for you?
anytime.
No, I'd like to, and I'd like to show my friends.
And that's my stuff.
Yeah.
See you later today.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get it fixed. We'll get it fixed.
Okay, please take your seats, everyone. We're going to get started.
Will it be in the way if I sit
No,
here?
you're fine.
Can't sit in that chair anymore.
Yeah, thanks for asking them.
Last call, last call. We're going to get started. Test. If we could have the panelists come on up.
Good, I just want you to feel slightly bumped up.
Jessica Steimer, Priscilla Enriquez, Shirlee Tully.
I don't need to. You can just short enough to stand. Thanks.
Okay. Well, the first question is about social media. So. Yes, that's it. Well, you can go ahead and leave. That's fine.
So we're just waiting for 2 more panelists to come up, and we want to get started. Hopefully there was coffee. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah. Please do.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? I'm Rob Stewart. Hey, Susie. I was looking for you earlier. I'm Rob Stewart, and I work here with KVIE. Welcome to our community room. We're so glad to have you here. You are our people. We love all of you who are here involved with area communities, and I want to put out a request to you guys. I'm putting together a show which is in conjunction with the Day of Giving. It'll air the night before on May 5th. It's called Heroes in Helping Hands. Some of you were here for an earlier pitch for this show as well. We're looking for your community nonprofit hero or someone who is your helping hand. We're looking to make personal portraits for this show that will spotlight someone who makes a difference. And I know every single person in here is that person, and you know someone who's doing that. So put your thinking caps on. Send me an idea that could be visual. We could show that person doing what they do that makes a difference in your community. And that would be absolutely fantastic. My email is rob@kvie.org. That's rob@kvie.org. And I'll give you my phone number, too, if you'd rather call. It's 916-641-3527. But email will come right to my phone, so that's the best way to reach me. rob@kvie.org. And just send me your personal stories that you think would make great for KVIE, because we got a lot of them from last time, and we're going through the list, and we produced this within the next 3 weeks, so we need those kind of ASAP.
So that's
it's a person that's doing something for that organization. So take that person in your organization, and everybody's got one, or hopefully have a lot of them for their organizations, that makes that difference, that showcases your hero and helping hand. That's who we're looking for. And ultimately, it filters back, the ripple effects filter back and showcase your organization. Okay? Any other questions? Uh-huh. It airs May 5th. We produce it within the next 3 weeks. Anybody else? Cool. Thank you. Have fun today.
Yay, Rob. Thank you. That's exciting. Opportunities just keep on popping up. So we have a wonderful panel here. We're going to talk about communication because that's the name of the game for Big Dog. We're going to go over a couple of the top 2 things that we learned from Arts Day. The first one was the number 1 referral source to the donation site on the Arts Day of Giving was Facebook. I don't think that's a surprise to anyone that social media played a huge role. But this panel is going to talk about a couple of tools, not just social media, although that is one of the main ones, that you can kind of have in your tool belt, and how to maximize those communication tools on the day. So I'm going to have the panelists just briefly introduce themselves and just give us your quick elevator philosophy on the importance of marketing and communications on the big day of giving. So we'll go ahead and start with Kim.
Thank you. I don't know how well you can hear, huh? So powerful. Wow. So my name's Kim. We have Threefold Connect, the philanthropic arm of Threefold Communications. And it comes down to this. It's not the qualified that get called, the called get qualified. And that's what you're here to do today, and we're here to help you do that.
Great, great.
Hey guys, everyone. I'm Jessica Steimer. I'm with Aspiration. We help other nonprofits to figure out how to use tools online to get their mission done. And a lot of what that is working with groups trying to make their offline organizing work online. And it's really that leveraging your offline communications and your offline people work through your online channels. So building that community online.
Hi, my name is Sosa, and my kind of philosophy with all this digital media, there's always something new, is to really keep an eye open for what's changing, what new tool is out, what new app, what new, social media fad is going on, and just, having fun with seeing what you can do with maybe this new tool. And maybe the tool disappears, maybe it keeps going. So just keep an eye open and see what else you could possibly use to help your organization.
Hi, I'm Shirlee Tully with the Sacramento Region Community Foundation. I'm the Chief Marketing and Development Officer. Is this thing on? Yeah, it is. No? Yes?
You have to get really close.
Yeah, here we go. I just want to tell you how inspired I am by all the work that you do. And I know that you spend your time doing that work, not marketing about doing that work. And that's really what today is all about, just really making you feel comfortable that what you have to say is important and give you a few new ideas about how to approach that. So we hope you come away all inspired because we're inspired by you. Thank you.
I only have 2 words, giving edge. And we're, Jeannie and I and a team of other folks are reviewing them. We're your coaches. And when you think about what do we say, how do we message, don't sit there with all your marketing materials on the table. Go to your profiles, because when we're reviewing it, we're actually crying, based upon some of the things you're putting up there. So you've already done the work, giving edge.
I like it. Speaking my language. Okay. So we're going to go into some basic questions, and we're going to start with, and I know we're going to really wear this out, the big dog, which is social media. And I talked to you about that the number 1 referral source was Facebook. And yesterday, this is how important this is. We had a completely separate session on getting those organizations that are not actually on Facebook yet, get them up to speed, get them going. So that's important. And my question to the panel is, can they start to touch upon the importance of having a social media presence for Big Dog? And what should organizations really be focusing on to make the biggest impact using this tool? So Does someone want to start with that? Jessica.
Yeah, I think first I wanted to recognize what a great resource that Give Big Now and the Sac Region Foundation is providing these localized statistics about the audiences that you're trying to reach. A lot of times the online reports that we find are with really big nationwide campaigns that people have really big communications departments doing their work, and so that's hard to translate to the work that we're doing. So knowing that the target audience is on Facebook is a huge gift to you of taking that guesswork out of how you're going to start to do this. So thank you.
Thank you.
Should I stand? I think.
Whatever.
Sit down. I'm gonna
Stand up.
so you can see
Get
me
right
better.
in that mic too, Louie, for the people in the back.
There you go.
In terms of the importance of social media and any digital tool, really, we're going to dive into some later. But the idea, which I believe Kim already touched on, was, or maybe it was Christina, when, for example, Facebook, everyone has a certain amount of friends. So when you, as an organization, post, all of those friends see it. So let's say you have 300 likes, you have a potential of 300 people seeing it. If any one of those 300 click like or share, now all of their 300 friends see it. So it is a very exponential increase when you use digital tools, social media, Facebook, Twitter, some other fun things. So I would say, in general, with digital marketing, knowing that the potential of reaching a huge, huge audience that you've never reached before, that's really the exciting part about using those tools.
Yeah, and I'd just like to add to that. So social media is a brave new world for some of us. Fortunately, I have Louie to work on it for the foundation. One of the things that I'm sure is abundantly clear is that you want to be growing those audiences before the big day, not wait till the big day, because you want it to be, ready to go, and you want to have all your stories ready and be telling those stories to more people. So it seems pretty basic, but in your work plan, you want to, stick that in there. What are you going to be doing to grow those audiences between now and then? And we've kind of, and I know we're going to talk about this later, but we've kind of broken it up into, between now and 2 weeks before the big day is your chance to just let people know you're participating. It's sort of a tease. The 2 weeks before the big day is the time to hit it hard. And then the big day, no sleep for anyone. It is constant. It is when those prizes get that word out. So we'll be covering that in a little more depth later, but I just wanted to mention thinking of building your social media program in that way, sort of a three-pronged approach. And then there's one more prong, which is the day after, or at 12:01 the next day, to thank those donors and to send out messages about how well you did as a whole. You can be thanking them real time, but the totality of what happened during that day, you're going to know right away. So you can have a whole May 7th strategy for those of you who drink lots of coffee and stay awake on that day.
Just to add to that, she just talked about the real-time shout-outs. And, I'll say personally, I gave a couple of donations on the Arts Day of Giving, and one of the reasons I gave to one of them is that I got a shout-out on Facebook, right? It inspired me. I saw other people getting them, like, I want to be on there. So, you're going to have access to your donor information on the day of, real time, so you can be doing that constantly, and that will build that momentum. You'll get those people that maybe never gave to your organization before that they want to see their name in lights too. So, question?
How will we get the access to that information? Are we going to get an email throughout the day? Do we have to go to check our profile?
Good question. The question was, how are you going to access your donor information? There's going to be a webinar on that. The event vendors are going to provide you that information in April. Yeah.
You talk about giving shout-outs on Facebook for donor information. Where do you get, I'm thinking 200-300 people giving on the day of giving for our organization. That's a lot of shout-outs on Facebook. Is that
Yes, it is.
too many? Should we pick and choose, or what do you think?
I gotcha.
Experts?
I gotcha. So, kind of through, yeah, that's a good problem to have. But part of social media is figuring out when to post and how often to post. Because if you're posting every 2 seconds, that gets annoying. So what we often look for is either a very special donation, maybe from a special person, or maybe during, I'm just going to throw this out, maybe between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m., you don't have a lot of activity going on. You may want to then look and see who has donated, choose a random person, and thank them to ramp up the excitement about the big day of giving during that time. So finding either finding times when not a lot's going on and then purposefully posting then, and also just throughout the day, just picking and choosing at random, or maybe there's a good story. A lot of times you may get someone like reply to you, send you a personal tweet, or send you a message on Facebook to your organization. That's another great way to say this person's very engaged. They're saying, hey, I never knew anything about your organization. Can I learn more? That's a great opportunity to then thank them, give them the shout out, and reward certain people for being very involved.
Great. Kim, did you have anything? No? This one? Okay. Sure.
That you can do a shout out to multiple people on the same post. Yes. So you don't have to do 3. You can do a shout out to multiple people in one post. So you don't have to do 300 posts shouting out everyone who donated. You could include 4 or 5 people in the same post and achieve the same recognition level, I think.
Great. And for those of you that weren't here yesterday, Laura Good, she provided the Facebook Social Media 101 yesterday, along with her social media club team. So thank you, Laura. Question over here?
When they're giving through the Give Local Now website, is there a way, if they want to remain anonymous with donor confidentiality, that they can specify that?
I believe we're going to have a button. I'm not entirely 100% sure on that. Do you know if we're doing anonymous?
There was last year.
Yeah, there was last year. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
I also forgot the question, but I'm guessing it's social media. Okay, so in terms of visibility, I just want to thank, I think we've had at least 10 to 20 people in organizations tweet this Big Day of Giving boot camp, and so you multiply that by their followers, and I'm just going to guess in the thousands, that at least 1,000 other folks know about the hashtag #GiveBigDog. So, and I'm going to give you visibility right now. So Pride and Bobby Briscoe and Roseville Rec Center, River City Food Bank, Heath Buckmaster, Bill Horrenda, Laura Good, PCA SAC. I mean, I could go on and on. So thank you.
Great. So we'll go on to another tool, but I guess to just recap the social media, make sure that you take a real deep look at what vehicles you're going to do. And we're going to have a session on social media specifically to kind of talk about how to create that social media campaign. So the second sort of stat we learned from the Arts Day of Giving was that over 40% of the donors found out about the Arts Day of Giving through an email. So that is a huge statistic, and we know that it's going to be a real game changer and a really important piece of your communication tools. I'd like to ask the panel to talk about some of the ways that email can be used creatively, some of the different tools that you can use to craft emails that are available, and how email can really fit into their overall plan. Did you want to start?
I'll just jump in on that one. I know Louis has been doing some research about time of day and all that, and I'm going to let him cover that, like where, time of day of emails and which day of the week and so on. So I'm going to let Louis cover that. The one thing I would say is just to echo what Jeannie said is during the Arts Day of Giving, there was literally this groundswell where, we didn't know what was going to happen. It was a new venture for us. All of a sudden, we pushed out to the boards of local organizations who then started pushing it out. We saw it pinging all over the place, and people used a lot of different creative approaches in their subject line and so on. And you are going to want to do that. You are going to want to distinguish yourself from others by using that, first thing that hits the donor. But I'm just simply reinforcing that email almost feels, old hat to us at this point, but it really is powerful, and we saw that. It just go exponential. So, Louis, do you want to cover the...
Well, I was just going to mention a couple things. One is that typically, regardless of when you send it, an email has about a 6-hour shelf life. So if you're watching, any kind of response or a way to track, I'm going to assume that we're including e-blasts in the email communications. So let's think about this too. More than 80% of us view e-blasts in the preview screen, which means that we haven't actually opened it yet. We're in our Outlook and we're seeing if it's worth opening. So please don't take the third top of your e-blast to just have your logo, right? Or the date. I mean, that's not going to get me to open it, right? The more you can personalize it, I see my name in it, and the more you can get to some meaty subject line or titling, I'll be more likely to click it and actually open it. So first you'll be able to track me that I did, and that perhaps I'll engage with you. Same thing goes with the subject line of an email. Please don't put something either so short or so long that I can't tell what it's about, right? And create some kind of compelling message in there. That headline is more important on the email than anything else.
What she said. Definitely. Firstly, the subject line, you're grabbing their attention immediately. So if it's too long, you're going to get maybe part of your subject and then maybe ... afterwards. That isn't as powerful as maybe 20 to 30 characters that really kind of, like a newspaper article. The lead, sometimes it's really exciting. You're like, oh my gosh. And then you read it and it's like, well, I guess it was a good article, but you want to get whatever content is in there and then shape it in an exciting way that you would go, I'm interested in clicking on this email to see what else is in here. Next, what Shirlee brought up, timing. So there's a lot of research out there that says what's the best day of the week, what's the best time of day, and the honest answer is it depends on your audience. So we use Constant Contact, for example. Does anyone else have email things such as that? Perfect, a lot of us. And if you don't, you can still track it, but track through whatever you're using to see your open rate. How many openings do you have? Is it 35%, 25%? And what time did you send it out? And what day did you send it out? And then what you can then do is sort of change it up and see if you send it in the morning as opposed to the evening, maybe you get more opens. But for a different organization, maybe in the evening you get more opens. And I guess the overall kind of short answer would be right now we're looking, the research out there says Thursday is the best day to send things out there. That's just overall. And then also either 9 p.m. or between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. And I'll explain why. Yeah, so part of it is because after you get off work, you don't want to do anything. You're driving home, then you get home, and then you want to debrief. And you don't want to check your email because you've been at work all day and you're not having it. So then you got to put the kids to sleep, and then you got to get pizza because it's delicious. And then after getting pizza, then you're like, okay, well, now I'm going to watch House of Cards for a little while. And then after that, you're coming into that 9 o'clock, you're ready to sort of cool down, and then you're going to check your phone really quick to see what kind of emails you have. That's that point down there right before you go to bed. The other side of that, 3 a.m. to 6 a.m., it's because what do you do when you wake up in the morning? Sometimes you flip your phone on and go, what do I have? And 3 a.m. is a weird time because no one's awake. But that means when you wake up, that's like the first email that they're going to see. No one else sends it between 9 p.m. and 3 a.m. So I would go between the two throughout these 8 weeks, figure out what's the best time for your organization and the best day. But that's kind of what we've found so far. 9 p.m. and 3 to 6 a.m. Ish. 9-ish is the range.
It's the official. It's the official time frame. You have a question here?
Related to that, what about Facebook posts? Do we have any research on, for a Facebook page, what time of the day is most likely to get a good response? Generate
We're going to cover that specifically soon.
Before we leave email,
Yeah, that's
so many great tips. I mean, we could talk all day about email newsletters. The last tip that I would want to make sure you all know, timing is really important, and the subject line is the only thing that they're guaranteed to see. That making sure that in the content of your email that you're sending or your e-newsletter that you're sending, you have a primary ask that's really clear. And especially with the big day of giving, that's going to probably be a donation ask. But you want to make sure that's really clear and towards the top, maybe a few places during it, but burying it as the very last line in your email isn't going to be very effective. Pulling it out, and if you have an email newsletter, that's one of those fancy design thing with the template, having a button where they can just single click and it's really clear what they're doing, that'll really, really up your game.
Great.
So I think the 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. tip is really important. You have to remember this is a 24-hour campaign that kicks off at midnight. And so we've been thinking a lot about how do we keep the momentum up between midnight and 6 a.m. So there you got it. I actually have some sample emails, and I'm not going to show them all because the print is really hard and might violate some of the rules we heard, but I like the messaging. But I did want to show one slide because there's been a lot of curiosity about the branding and the logos and the graphics, and I just wanted to pull up this. So this just gives you an idea of what you can do with the graphics that we will give you. This was a generic email sent out by the Sacramento Metropolitan Arts Commission. They were a partner during the Arts Day of Giving. And you could see, simple and short and sweet, colorful. They used our graphic as the header. Arrow, today is the day to give to the arts. Very simple. So anyway.
All right. So now we've got social media, we got email. Let's talk about some other methods of communicating. I know that a lot of you already have some things in place, some traditional marketing things. And this question of the panel is going to be talking about those other methods, whether it's mobilizing your board, because they are a communication tool. Traditional marketing through print collateral, adding a big dog message to your existing materials, things like that. What should organizations start to focus on? Someone want to take that one?
Yeah, I think it goes without saying that you probably don't have gazillion-dollar marketing budgets for the big day of giving, and you're going to want to take advantage of things you're already doing and have these messages right along. So between now and the 2 weeks before, it's your time to tease, it's your time to get people excited, it's your time to really announce that you're part of this. Because when the day comes, it's going to be incredible. So you want to stand out, and you want your donors to think about you on that day. So think about all your existing communication channels and the toolkit that we're providing and how you might take those elements and work them in. You may have some print coming. You may have a newsletter between now and then. So just take advantage of everything that's been created. I wanted to just mention, and I'll pass some of these around, we've created some postcards, flyers, sample ads. We don't know what sizes you need, so we're just trying to give you things in a variety of sizes that you can incorporate in. And I'll pass this postcard around because it really gives you an idea of the way we're communicating about the big day. There are many sort of rallying cries within this. One is, let's make history. You've already seen the logo, and it kind of says what it is, says the day, says what it is. 24 hours to give where your heart is. GiveLocalNow.org. GiveLocalNow.org over and over and over in your messages, front and center, because Priscilla said 2 words, Giving Edge, but that's how you get to Giving Edge. It's through Give Local Now. The other message is, we're saying, starting at midnight on May 6th, go to GiveLocalNow.org, and give to the nonprofits that lift up lives and make this the place we call home. I just want to say a few words about this is a day of inspiration. This is a day of bringing the community together. We, Sacramento, as a region, we've been through a lot, and we've come out shining. We got our Kings, we got our Crocker built. You are all still standing. This is wonderful. So we hope that this day is going to be a day of community pride. So another key message point is one day, every person, your community. And then about the match, the way we're communicating that is for 24 hours only, every gift will get a boost from matching funds thanks to and we mentioned the donors. So I just wanted to cover that kind of briefly because that thinking has been done for you. Of course, we want you to get creative and make this work for you, but these copy points are settled and they're there for you to use.
Great. Kim? Yes.
So Jeannie, you mentioned the board, right? And we
Yes.
can't put a bigger exclamation point on that as a tool. Your board legally has only 2 jobs, fiscal steward and brand ambassador. This day and everything leading up to it takes both of those job aspects to bear, right? Like, if they don't do anything else all year, this is what they need to do, right? So you need to school them and tool them with what they need to go out and do that. And I would take a look at your existing donor segment that you are able to identify, and I would match board members up to visits, calls, emails, whatever, to those donors early, ask them how they might help, how they might participate. Those of you who do, how many of us do fund development in the room? Okay, yeah, the job we hate to love, or love to hate, whatever it is. So we know that lots of times, if you go ask for money, you get advice. If you go ask for advice, you're likely to get some money. So get them engaged, have your board members do an ambassadorship role to do that, and be exponentially ahead of everyone else as a result.
Fantastic.
Just a quick thing, these postcards that were passed out, again, it will be online, and then we encourage you to pass them throughout the room throughout the presentation.
All right. So we're going to close by going down the line. I'd like to ask each of you, what is their number one piece of advice? What is the one thing they should focus on if they don't have the capacity to do everything? What is the one thing they should really focus on?
Just one thing.
Or tip. It could just be a tip. It could be whatever you want to tell the folks here.
Yeah, what I would say is be mission-centric. Talk about what you do. Our friend from 916 Inc. did a great job of a 2-second elevator speech. I wasn't timing it. Maybe it was 3 seconds. But she really got across what the organization did in basically one sentence. Think about your mission and make sure it comes through. How you change the world comes through in all of your messaging. And then the other, 2 points. Your brand. Be true to your brand. Have everything be consistent. Have someone be able to look at all the communications you're doing and know that it comes from you. So have everything work together. Oh gosh, one more.
Whoa, that's pushing it.
Ding,
Tully.
ding, 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 ding. So your website, we want people to go to givelocalnow.org. So we're really not here to push people to your website, but it's going to happen. So I just want to mention that your portrait and your website should be in sync. It would be easy to have updated your portrait and then not have time to do your website. People will want to see the same messaging. It'll make you look crisp and clean for that day. So don't forget your website now that you've done the big work of getting your portrait done.
I think related to mission is you want to be inspiring. And I think I said earlier when we were reviewing your profiles, some of us started to cry. So some kind of emotion, from your messaging, whether it's to the heart, to make someone laugh, to make someone smile by an image, don't lose that.
My advice would be the best way to understand new tools is to use new tools. Maybe you've heard of Vine or Instagram, but you don't have one. It's not a bad idea to have a personal one and play with it. And you'll start to learn the tone and the kind of culture behind these different tools. So get them, use them, and that's how you'll understand how to best utilize them.
Challenge to be concise. Okay. My 11th grade English teacher would tell you, Mr. Fernie, he would say, show me, don't tell me. So we have a tendency to summarize what we do and describe what we do, but the advantage of social media is that it's immediate and we have the chance to tell our little anecdotal stories, what we tell our friends and family at dinner and at lunch about what we do. So one example of that is we got a phone call today from a woman seeking help, and because of this partner or this staff person's hard work, we were able to help her. That's huge, and that's why we're in this work. That's why we do this every day. Sharing that story is what people will connect with.
Excellent. I think being consistent is going to be vital to your success because you're going to be able to leverage and build upon what you do day 1, day 2, and so forth. Please don't go dark at any point during the most active phase of this. If you, in your plan today, develop goals around the frequency that you're going to be in communication, then stick to that and figure out if you don't have the resources in-house, what volunteers you can enlist and so on and so forth. Because I think doing it perfect is a nice thing to strive for, but simply doing it well with consistency will get you to the goals that you're setting today.
Great, that was actually mine too. So I'm going to say my tool is have fun. This is fun. This is a really exciting thing, and you're going to have fun with it. I think being positive, and I know there's a lot of the work that you do is serious, and while we need to convey that, I think we can also put a positive message out there that this is growing philanthropy, and it's an exciting day. Lastly, we're going to move on to the toolkit, but Shirlee, did you want to, I know you touched on the postcard, but I'd like you to sort of just briefly tell the folks about the global marketing campaign that the planning committee is doing and sort of the difference between that and what the nonprofits are going to be marketing.
Yeah, so we're working hard to put together a marketing campaign by hook or by crook with a tiny bit of money and a lot of begging and pro bono. And the purpose of that campaign is really to promote the Day of Giving and those messages that I sort of covered with you. Just really to get across that it's 24 hours, all donations will be matched, and inspire people to give on that day. But we can't inspire people to give to you. That's why you're here, to figure out that part of the equation. So it's like a relay race. We're kind of pushing people towards you, and then you're going to take it from there. So the things that we're working on, not everything is locked down at this point, but we are going to have a B note, you know, those little Post-it notes on the B, the Saturday before in targeted zip codes that have a high likelihood of giving. The B is also generously donated 3 ads and a thank you ad, which is going to be awesome. So we'll get to do a community-wide thank you the day after. We're also working with Clear Channel. The details are being worked out. But one thing we're very excited about is that it looks like we're going to have the electronic billboards. So, which we don't know yet exactly what that means. Our vision is that the leaderboard would be on those electronic billboards. And there are now 19 of them throughout the region. You know, they've kind of mushroomed. So that's very exciting. And they're also going to throw in some radio, which is wonderful. We do hope their DJs will talk about it the day of. They did that during the Arts Day of Giving, so that'll be great. And then just really to sum it up, we're working with all the major media outlets, offering, you know, small amounts of investment for a large amount of pro bono. KBIE and Capital Public Radio will be involved. They are nonprofits, and it makes perfect sense. So we're going to be pushing it wherever we can. And again, it's awareness of the big day and that all donations will be matched. And we want GiveLocalNow.org tattooed so that people will remember and not have to think too hard about it. Yes.
If we have contacts, should we try to do the same with our newspapers and magazines?
You know, I wouldn't discourage any amount of exposure for the big day of giving, but I would say the big media outlets, we're actually meeting with all of them and approaching it as a whole. So, like, for example, we'll be meeting with the local TV stations before to talk about editorial content. And as an aside, you know, Priscilla keeps talking about the stories that you're telling through the Giving Edge. Those are the stories that we're going to be pitching to the media. But so in that example, it probably wouldn't be great if all the nonprofits, you know, go to Channel 3. It would dilute it. So we'll focus on that. But if you have specialty publications or targeted neighborhood publications that really fit with what you do, I would say go for it. And then if you have any questions, just call us. Okay?
I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but will you have an event schedule where there will be press or meeting places?
Yeah, great question. I'm actually going to let, you want Priscilla? Priscilla will handle it. It's in creation as we speak. So,
So last year for the Arts Day of Giving, the question is, will there be an event that draws press? So last year we had an event at Mulvaney's at noon. We had food trucks. We had, because it was focused on the arts, we had musicians and other artists there. The mayor showed up. So there's a lot of flurry and activity. The press came. It was really wonderful. So we're going to try to replicate that again this year. It will be in Sacramento, although there will be other events in Placer as well to draw the media there. I don't want to give the location away because it hasn't been firmed yet, but we're hoping with the good weather it'll be outside and have the same sort of vibe, feel, sort of a festival feel. But we're thinking of including the nonprofits for you to participate. One of the things we didn't touch on for communication is last year a number of arts groups obviously did events. What we learned from that was it didn't actually increase donations, it was great visibility for them. And so on that note, I would not discourage you to do your own events, to create visibility for yourselves, to give something for your board members to do, to recruit volunteers. I think having a physical event is a great method of communication. But as far as the big day and for the foundation and our partners organizing something, it is in the works.
All right, well, let's thank our panel, and we're going to move on to the next topic. Thank you, guys. Oh, yeah, we have a prize. Woohoo! Does anybody have a good question that they want to ask the audience for this one? Anyone? Something good?
I have one question.
All right.
What's a communication tool that we have not mentioned yet today that you're thinking about?
LinkedIn. All right. Oh, perfect. This prize, I'm going to let Jessica actually describe it. It looks like it's a prize from Aspiration, so that's appropriate.
So I'm like, oh, what are we giving away over here? Okay, so we are here to support you. Where are you? We're here to support you. So if you want to talk about a technology brainstorm, a price check on technology or proposal review, to talk about your communications goals and strategy and advice, or if you're just having a holiday on your database and you want to vent, we're here to support you in whatever way that works. Free.
Wow. Some coaching. Thank you, Jessica. All right, well, thank you, panel. We're going to move forward really quick. I'm sure you guys are getting hungry. We're going to do two things. Something that actually we didn't talk about, but we're going to talk about the toolkit. But we're also going to give you a little sneak peek of some of the prize challenges that that we have in the works. So you can start thinking about that because you're going to be putting your campaign together today. You're going to be putting your plan together. And actually, it was Louis that actually made this point the other day, was that you're going to want to take a look at these challenges, and you're going to want to see which ones you want to target for that day, and then you can incorporate that into your plan. So it's not a finalized list, but we definitely want to talk about them a little bit. I believe they're in the back of your booklet. So do you have a... Yeah, let's just do that really quick. Does someone have an extra booklet? Probably not. Thank you, Jim. Yeah. All right. Perfect. So what's really great is this year we're going to have the general challenges, but we also have a lot of great sponsors that are providing some additional challenges that are specific to areas and sectors. So there's a lot more coming, you guys. So this is just a little taste of what we're going to have. So we have the basic prizes, that we had during last year. We have the grand prize, a nonprofit that raises the most money, a donor prize, a mystery challenge. When we were doing this, we actually forgot what the mystery was. We were like, wait, what is it? I have to write that down somewhere. So, whatever. The Giving Edge challenge. We had this one during the Arts Day, and this is an opportunity for you to actually get people to go to your page and take a look at what you do. So the nonprofit that receives the most visits to their Giving Edge page is going to get a challenge prize. The board member challenge. This is going to be something that it's in the works right now. We don't have the details, but something that is going to engage your board members and have them tell your story in some fashion, probably electronically, but more details to come on that one. This is my personal favorite, the double dog dare. There might be a triple dog dare at some point, but the first donation of $500 will be doubled. The first $1,000 donation that day will be doubled. So some of those things will be going on, and I'm going to go over the time challenges, and then I'll have you go over the social media ones, Louie. So the time challenges, what we found through our surveys during Arts Day was that these were the most popular. So you pick a time, an hour chunk, and then you rally all your donors to give during that time to try and win. So the Blast Off Challenge, that's the very first donation right when we turn it on. That organization will receive $2,500. The Dog Tired Challenge, this is from that great blast off all the way through the middle of the night to 6 a.m. So the organization that gets the most donations during that time will get $3,000. The morning challenge will be from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. So that's that sort of, they're at their desk, they're doing their work, they get that email, they make a donation. The lunchtime, that was a really popular one during the Arts Day. That's that noon to 1. A lot of flurry of activity during the noon time. I really had fun with this, right? The chow time. I'm sure there's more ways you can say it, but most money during 6 and 7 p.m. That's when Louis is going to be having his pizza. And then the last chance dog, that last hour of activity on the very end of the day from 10:59 p.m. to 11:59 p.m., those that raise the most money. So that's just a little sample of what's going to happen, and it really is fun and exciting. And I know Louis is going to talk a little bit about his involvement during the Arts Day of Giving. He hasn't really mentioned that yet, so he could really talk in depth about trying to win these challenges. So speaking of social media, I'm going to have him talk about the social media challenges.
All right, cool. Let's see, where are they at? All right, so there may be the rules are TBA, so this may be tweaked a bit, but to give you an idea of some of the social media challenges, at the top, Vine challenge. Does anyone know what Vine is? Okay, so I'm going to go into it a little later, but essentially it's an app on your phone, 6-second video. And we want to encourage everyone to put together a Vine video that has to do with your organization. It's a great way of you creating content, so it works to your advantage. And then also we're going to have some sort of panel of judges that is actually going to look through and based on certain criteria choose a winner of the best Vine video. And you'll get the breakdown of how we'll judge it later. So just keep in mind that's pretty cool. Vine's my favorite, by the way. The unselfie challenge. Who has heard of an unselfie? Who's heard of a selfie? Okay, so a selfie, you're taking a picture of yourself because you're really cool in your bathroom. And then an unselfie is everyone else in the bathroom. So the idea being you take a picture of maybe what you want to donate to. So this would be partially for your donors to get involved. Take a picture of, for example, the music organization and saying, this is who I want to give to, hashtag unselfie, and there's going to be some more things. Or, I really love this animal shelter, or this, great program that's in this county, And so it's taking a picture of what you're giving to, so it's more about them and someone else as opposed to yourself. Unselfie. Also, Big Dog Meme Challenge. Who knows what memes are? They're fantastic. Essentially pictures, and usually you have very sly wording that goes along with it. We have some examples, but we will have 3 random prizes that will be awarded throughout the day for memes. So it will be ongoing as you post. We encourage, because photos are great, especially on Facebook. That gets the most engagement, our photos on Facebook. I'll go into that more later, but keep that in mind. Throughout the day, you can just pump out memes, put them on there, get engaged with your audience, have a fun time, and we will reward that with different challenge prizes. And then the donor tweet challenge, details to come. That's all I have to say about that.
All right. So So start thinking, get the wheels turning. Yeah.
Is this all on the day of that you're talking about, these vines and?
Yes. The day that you post them will be on that day, but.
Yeah, there may be some creation that. Yeah, are the challenges for social media specific to the day of, or can you, for example, post them before? They're going to be for the day of. On the toolkit, which I'll get into, there will be a prize challenges page, which will give you every little tiny detail, but generally speaking, it'll be the day of. That's when we want the posts, that's when we want all the activity, and that's how we'll really get everyone else's attention as well.
But the 2-week mark, when you start your heavy marketing, that's your time to play and get going and figure out how to do all this. And you'll be able to do some sample posting on your Facebook, and you start that. So, save the really, really good ones to try and win the challenge.
You got a question back here?
Yeah.
So we're going to track it in a way where it'll be spelled out, but for example, you will use a specific hashtag that we give you, and that's part of the requirement. For example, Vine. If you post with our unique hashtag, when we search for it, only those submissions are going to come up in our search. So by using the hashtag, you're essentially bookmarking it for us to see later, and that's how we can search for it. I will. I'm going to get into hashtags later.
Yeah.
Mainly with these, just look for the prize challenge page that is going to be updated, and it will explain them in further detail.
Yeah. And we'll post all of the rules of it, and we'll go over the hashtags and how those work and everything during Louis' social media. We're going to dive right into the toolkit right now. And I wanted to kind of take you guys through how to access it. And then Louis is going to take you through some specific pieces and how to use them. So there's 2 ways to get there. Here on the left side, if you go to givelocalnow.org, you can click on Toolkit, and it'll take you directly there, or you can click here for more information, and it'll take you to that page as well. So this is just basic information about the big day of giving. And then you have your FAQs, you've got key messages, prize challenges to be announced. You've got the dog training, so this session that's being recorded and all the materials, at some point we will have those posted up there for you to access. Information about the events that Priscilla talked about, we'll have that as soon as we get those details. Then, this is basic information. You got your media partners, outreach and business partners, and the participating organizations. So we'll have all that information for the public to see. Then, if you scroll down, you're going to have some basic marketing materials, and we wanted to have some really quick sort of, I need a quick logo, I just want to go to one page and grab it. That's what this is for. So there's 1 of 2 ways you can do that. You can just click on that logo, and then you can right-click and save that image.
Or if you use a Mac, I think it's Command.
Yeah, I don't do Mac, sorry.
Me neither.
If you wanted all the graphics, you can click here, and it'll take you to a full graphic page. And at the very bottom, you're going to see 2 toolkits. One's for the nonprofits and one's for our partners. And it's essentially the same thing, but the messages are a little bit different. So for our outreach partners, they're going to be outreaching to their employees or their business colleagues, and you guys are going to be going to your donors. So the messages, the samples are a little bit different. So I'm going to have Louis take it from here, and we'll click on the nonprofit toolkit, and then he can talk about what's in it.
Sure. So as you can see here, it's very simple. All the points are laid out, and each one brings you to a different page with everything that has to do with that. For example, you've got your frequently asked questions, and I'll show you right here. When you click on it, it brings you to everything. What is the big day of giving? What is the giving edge? You can scroll down even farther. What if I can't find my favorite nonprofit on the website? Every FAQ is going to be on this page. And course, it's a great resource for you to have the answers when someone asks you as well. Key messages, very straightforward. These are almost.
Had a lot of people ask me, I've got some, my e-newsletter, or I have a print deadline, and I want the official, messages. What if I do it? And I know Shirlee talked about those messages that were on that postcard, and that's what that key messages is for. It's for you as a resource to go and grab those taglines so that you can utilize those in your marketing materials. And of course, the internet's probably going to be an issue. The other great thing is the enormous amount of graphics that is going to be at your fingertips. Not only are you going to have every single logo and every single version and size, but you also are going to have all the social media graphics that you could possibly want or need.
Yeah, so at the top here, as it's loading, that is the zip file. If you just want an easy one-click, I want everything. I just want it in one place, just give me all of it. All you have to do is click on it, and it will prompt you to download it. The end. You get everything. However, maybe you want to go through and kind of shop through and see specific logos, specific sizes. It tells you the size, what kind of image it is, full color, and the negative with the transparent background, your black and whites, all of your different sizes. And then it even goes into things for your website, things for Facebook, Facebook headers. All of this is included in the zip file if you just want to click it there. But sometimes in the middle of it, especially, and I know when you're in the middle of the day of and you're thinking, man, I got a really good idea, but I can't find it. I'm not somewhere wherever. I just want that one picture. You can just come here, scroll down, find the one that you want, and go ahead and download it. So the social media kit. So I won't get too into this one because we're going to cover it in a moment, but and it's not going to load, of course. But the social media kit is going to be sort of like the presentation we're going to give today. It's going to give you a lot of specifics as to best practices, tips. If you still haven't started in Instagram, let's say, there's a link that'll tell you how to start. So to bring you down the steps. For example, Facebook. If you don't have a Facebook, you can click here, set one up. Step 2, like the partners' pages, because we're going to be giving out information throughout the day, like our pages. Step 3, it'll explain on April 22nd, that's 2 weeks out. That's when you're going to want to change your profile pictures, your headers. And then, of course, step 4, now let's start using it. Here are some tips, including frequency of posts, best characters, different ways to use, for example, in this case, images, links, tagging. It's got a lot of neat little pieces of information that if you read through can really help your posting throughout social media. And this goes through, oh, I got to show these. My favorite one I got to point out is this. I sent this one out for Valentine's Day. It says, roses are gray, violets are gray, I'm a dog. So once the prize challenges get up, you're going to want to play with memes if that's one of the prize challenges you want to go after. But I've also included what memes are. You can click on that to see examples. This is also a meme creator. It's called Image Flip. It's really easy. You may want something else, but for something easy, quick, basic, and right away, you can click on that and you can upload any photo you want and add any words you want. So it's a nice tool to have. And let's see. So this hasn't loaded yet, but the 4 we're focusing on because of the prize challenges and because of popularity as well are Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Vine. Those 4 are included in the social media kit. You can learn a ton of information by simply going on here, reading, and then, of course, playing on your phones and doing it for fun. No, and I will address that. Yeah.
Are we going to have an individual link directly to Give Local Now for our own nonprofit so people don't have to look for us?
Good question. So if you guys who didn't hear that, the question was, are you going to have your own link to your donation page on May 6th? And the answer is I'm so glad to say this. Yes, you will. That was one of the things that we didn't have last year, and Kimbia has changed that. So we will be distributing those very, very soon. As soon as we get those links from Kimbia, we will pass them along to you, and then you can start utilizing that. It's basically going to be givelocalnow.org/ and then a version of your name, okay? So we don't really have a lot of control over it, so hopefully it will work for you. But the good news is that you will have that, and you can link that everywhere you want.
A quick question. How many of you are interested in thinking of using LinkedIn during this? Who's interested in LinkedIn, just to get a general poll? All right, I'm gonna mull this over. I might throw something on there because it's also very simple, easy to use, but we didn't include it for different reasons. One being we need kind of the top 4 to go at, but if enough of you really wanna learn about it, I'd have fun putting something together because all that's fun. So, let's see.
That's why he's in charge of social media. Thinks it's fun, but
It is
fun.
All right, so again, prize challenges to be announced, collateral. This is gonna have everything from, we have some things in motion, so they'll be uploaded. And how many of you get the Bark? That is the newsletter that comes out.
Woof, woof.
Nice. If we change anything or update something, or for example, LinkedIn, a lot of people are interested. If we change something like that, that'll be included, so you'll be able to know, okay, well, something got added, I can check it out. But this also has that postcard that we were passing around. That's on there for you to download PDFs. There's also buttons. There will be flyers. All these templates are just going to be there available for you to just click, download, done. And also we've got templates, which I wish I could show. But templates right now, oh yeah, first.
Sorry, before you move on
Yeah.
to templates, another collateral question.
Okay.
Will there be physical collateral items available to us that we can use, signs or tattoos or any of that sort of stuff that we can use that day?
I believe that it's sort of up to each organization we're going to provide you the templates to print yourself. But I believe there'll be a small amount of some of those things. I believe, I'm totally talking, and I don't really know the answer, but I think there may be some buttons involved that you can do, and maybe a small amount of the pre-printed postcards. But those are the only 2 I think that may actually be physical that you could pick up. Okay.
All right. So as it's loading, if it comes up, templates. We right now have email templates. There's, I believe, 5 plus a couple of examples that don't have to do with the big day of giving that some organizations have sent out that we thought were good examples. So emails to a general audience, personal emails as a teaser, maybe a few weeks out, and then also for the day of. Same thing with maybe your board. Well, it is for your board, but also a teaser that you can use a few days out, and then for the day of. Because those are really they're slightly different messages, but of course saying, hey, it's coming, remember, you want to go here and do this, and then the day of, it's here, go here, this is how it's going to go. So it's not coming up, but there are 5 different templates you can click on, and not only will you be able to either download a Word document, so you can just have it and then tweak it, but also there's just a text version, which is just a web page that you could copy and paste if that's what you want to do too. So 2 different ways to get it, and it's very simple to get. Dog training from today. I'm going to get all these PowerPoints turned into one big, fun PowerPoint, and that will just be on there. It'll be one click, you get the PowerPoint done. Yes?
Do you have or will you have a PowerPoint that you can use with our board to give an overview?
Do you guys think that would be helpful? Yes. Okay.
They have spoken.
It shall be done. I know we had something similar during Arts Day, so yeah, we can put something together and add it to the toolkit for sure. Yeah.
I just think it's time for somebody to say, this is fantastic. Thank you so much.
Well,
Thanks.
you're welcome. we want you guys to be successful, and we want to make sure that you're not scrambling to recreate the wheel here, you know, and I know everybody is busy. We all have our jobs, and this is like on top of that. So, you know, this is meant for you to be, it's easy. You download it, you use it, and spend your time focusing on your message and engaging your donors, you know. This stuff should be just no-brainer. Question? Yeah.
Hi. After someone makes a donation, is there going to be functionality for them to then share it and send personal emails out and post it on Facebook? And will that link back to Give Local to the main page or back to the page that they donate?
Did everybody hear that? So the question was, when someone donates on May 6th, is there a way for them to do a share so that they share it on Facebook or Twitter that they've given? And the answer is yes. So there's social share buttons on every donation page. There's a Facebook, a Twitter, and an email link. So and when you hit it, it'll have a sort of a canned message that'll say, you know, I gave to, and then it'll have a link to that organization's donation page. And so they share that on their Facebooks. They can link it, #GiveBigDog, and then that goes viral. So it does link back to the donation page.
So it did get brought up here. So as you can see, these emails, a generic teaser email for a general audience, personal teaser email for a general audience, personal day of email. You also have the teaser email for board members or donors, and a day of for board members or donors. And then, as I said, at the bottom, there are some examples, and I believe I'm also going to add a few more for you to look at. So just as an example, let's click on one of these, see if it works. Generic teaser, I'll just bring up the text version. All right, so we've got at the top, it tells you what it is, the generic teaser, your audience, general, timing, 4 to 6 weeks before, and then it lays it out. That's where the logo will go. That's where your logo will go. Dear friends and colleagues, boom, and it lays it out. And that's for all the different audiences for all the different times. Yes?
So I have a question in regards to you said that we will each get our own link to go directly to our donation page. So do we, I guess, have a donate button or a donate page on your website? For that day, do you deactivate that and then replace it with the Giving Edge one? What are your recommendations on that?
So the question was, do you deactivate your website's donation capabilities? And I'm going to leave that up to you. There's 2 ways that you can do that. One more option that you can do is the day of event website also has the ability, yes, you have your own URL, so you can link it directly to that page that way. It also has an embed feature. So for those of you that are HTML savvy, if you at the bottom of that donation page, it'll say embed this form. You can click that and it'll give you a little snippet of HTML code, and you can put that on any website you want, and it will directly embed that donation form on a website. So even though it's on your website or your board's blog post or something, it's still going to go into that bucket for your organization through the Kimbia site. So that's 2 options. So it's up to you what you'd like to do with those. But yeah, I mean, I think you would want all those donations to go through that site on that day so that you get that match money. Yeah. Yeah.
I guess I was going to say what we're planning on doing is making what's called a splash page. So basically, we have our normal page, and on the day of the actual donation drive, when the user goes to our main page, it'll bring up the Go Donate Now, and there'll be a link saying go to our normal page. So basically, it gives the user the ability to go to donate or just go to our regular page, but deactivate it right after the donation drive is over.
That's wonderful. So for those who didn't hear that, and for those that you have the benefit of having wonderful techie people that can do that, is he's going to have a splash page on their website. So what that means is when you go to their website, this new thing pops up that just says, give here. So that's really great.
Yeah, and if you don't have a techie person, you can go in and simply add some wording at the very top of your page that says, this is the big day of giving, give here, like click here, and just hyperlink it, and then just make the text itself big. So whether you can, a splash page having a page that is going to be there instead for them to use, or at the very least adding something at the top of your website, something easy, clear, click here to donate for the big day of giving will also be something you may want to do. Just because it's finally working, I wanted to show, as you can see, it says Word document or text if you do not have Word or don't want to use Word. When you click on it, there you go, boom. So you can either open it to have it and then save it later, or you can save it onto your computer directly. That's for all of those. And then maybe even collateral will come up. Yes, okay, so they're coming soon because they're still being kind of tweaked and worked, and we'll let you know. But the postcard, for example, what we passed around, this is how it'll work. All you have to do is click on it. Yeah, I know, right? Some plugins are out of date. So you would update plugins.
This is not your computer, right?
No. Well, this is actually really good because if you need to update some plugins, all you have to do is click on that and update these JavaScripts and Adobe Acrobat.
I saw a hand over there. Was that, no? Yeah. What's a collateral? Those are the print materials. So anything tangible that you can actually download and print for yourselves, whether it's a mailer piece or there's a template to make little buttons, things like that. Yeah.
Is there a contact on technical questions, like on the embedding?
Well, you can contact us through the Big Dog email, and one of us should be able to help you with that. Yeah.
Yeah, back on the board presentation, if you could make sure that it has a really clear description of the matching process, because I know that the amount is yet to be determined, and I know that'll be, at least for us, the first question our board will have is how much is the match, and I know that's not an easy answer, so if you can just make sure that's.
Absolutely. Her question was about the match and communicating that to your board through that PowerPoint. So we'll definitely make sure that there's some clear stuff. And we also describe the match in the FAQs as well, and how that pro rata actually works. So that's in there too. You can always utilize that to sort of make sure your messaging is clear. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. It's actually just partners. It's just, so it's all partners. Yeah, everybody, all of the partners, whether they're sponsor, media, outreach, business, they get the same one. Yeah, yeah.
Outreach and business.
So I don't know if we discussed about what the outreach and business partner was. Do you guys know what that is? No? Yes? So there's another toolkit that is for the outreach and business partners, and we have, along with the other Big Dog Planning Committee organizations, have gone out and businesses, organizations that want to be a part of this and they want to get the word out. They want to, either it's through their business contacts, through just community partners, or they're a business partner where they actually are going to promote this within their business to their employees. So there's a bunch of different ways. And then we also have the match partners. Those are they're actually providing dollars to the match. Those are also ambassadors to get the word out as well. So we have a specific toolkit for them that has a lot of the same elements, but the messaging and the key messages and the email templates, are tweaked a little bit and different. So you're welcome to utilize it if you want. Yeah, if you want to go back, Louis, to that main page, and every page of the toolkit has a back to button at the very top. So you use that to get you back to the home page. So there's another box at the bottom that says Partner Toolkit, and that will take you to that, which looks almost identical. It's really just the wording in the templates that are different. Yeah.
I have two questions. When a donation is made, will a receipt be available for tax write-off?
Yes. So the system automatically, within a few minutes, will send an official tax receipt to the organization. Yeah.
And is it possible to learn of other participating nonprofits in the same community to create a press
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Is it possible to learn of other participating nonprofits in the same community, like I work in Auburn, so maybe even create a press release for those communities that, for those nonprofits?
Yeah, so what we'll do is once the complete list is confirmed, we will go ahead and post that. And if you're interested in specifically particular cities or areas, we can work with you and provide you a list for you.
Yeah, and to go off of that, I know that we're going to be doing a lot of the global marketing for the entire Sacramento region, as in giant, 9 to 11, I think it's 9 counties. We'll be doing like Clear Channel, as Shirlee brought up before, the global marketing, and then for, let's say, Auburn, maybe you want to have something for the Auburn Journal because, these small local papers or magazines may want something. Through some of the key messages and maybe even through some of the materials that we've already put out, I'm sure, I encourage you to go ahead and put together something and work with them because everything's local. It'll sell locally. And if you have a good relationship with a local publication and they want to maybe accentuate you guys, then I say, by all means, have at it.
Yeah.
Are these going to be like categories, kind of going off of what she said, categories by agency, like what we do also?
You mean on the actual event website?
On that, and just in any publications as well. We're an adoption agency, so we want to focus on children, drugs, kind of those different things.
Well, I think the global marketing, we're not going to be targeting specific categories of nonprofits. However, on the day of the event, there will be, we have the option of having 10 categories on the site. So, if you wanted to, network with the others within your category and work with them to kind of get a global message out about that particular sector, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and the key messages here, again, go to that piece of the toolkit and use those to maybe build your unique press release or your message to your local publication or for you guys to shape your own message for that purpose. Someone in the back.
It's in the back there. Go ahead.
So, I'm sure you guys have better think about this in terms of the dates, timing of all this. The day before Cinco de Mayo, and what would you recommend as the options and no-nos for us in terms of planning events, planning anything before or after this event?
I would encourage margaritas. So the question was, with the timing, for example, Cinco de Mayo is the day before. So in terms of timing with the messaging or maybe things that are going on, how would you approach that? For one thing, just doing your 8-week plan, shaping your messaging. I would almost say ignore it, move forward, just do your plan 8 weeks going into it. For Cinco de Mayo, maybe that's the date, since it's the day before, having your message saying, hey, it's tomorrow. But for me personally, not really having a Cinco de Mayo ginormous post or incorporating it into perhaps a message to remind them tomorrow. I know you're partying for Cinco de Mayo, but the real party's tomorrow, Yes, stay up till midnight, but don't drink too much because, we're actually starting at midnight. Depending on your audience, depending on your messaging, shaping it to that, because it really depends.
And that goes to another point is I know during the Arts Day we had a couple of organizations that actually had events, the day or 2 days before the event, and they were able to incorporate the Arts Day of Giving message within their event. So just think creatively on how you can utilize that message within your already existing events that are going on. Yeah, we'll go take one here and then we'll go to there.
This might come up later, but I'm curious because when we have different community members or stakeholders, so for example, I work a lot with college kids and middle school kids. For my college kids, I say, hey, you're having margaritas, go online and donate, but then that doesn't look good on Facebook when I'm having middle school kids.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I guess we talk more about how do we synthesize all these different communities
It all comes down to your audience and who is on these different channels, who are you marketing toward. And so on Facebook, perhaps all of your college students are on there, or perhaps all of the elementary school kids' parents are on there. That's quite different. I'll bring up, I worked with the Mandarins last year for the Arts Day of Giving. And we went through Facebook, we checked some of the insights to see what age range was our audience on Facebook to see, okay, what is our main audience base here? And we thought, well, with donors, we want people to donate maybe a little older, maybe the parents of people marching in the Drum and Bugle Corps. What we found was, like 60-something% of the users were between 13 and 25. And so that changed our tactic, knowing who our audience was. That changed our messaging from maybe more informative to more playful. And if many of you were following the Arts Day of Giving, maybe you saw we had a lot of memes. We had a lot of fun posts that were specifically targeted for that audience to be engaged, for them to share with their friends, and then also for them to help us get the prize challenge of visiting our page the most. So depending on the audience that you're targeting, the message will change. So maybe margaritas aren't for everyone.
Well, I will just add to that during, I know we're going to talk a lot about Art Day of Giving, but that was our dry run in some respects. It really gave us a lot of knowledge about doing this on a grander scale. But what I noticed was as the night got, wear on, and it got later and later, and the posts got more playful, and it went from Facebook to Twitter. And then Twitter, it was just like random things, and it got really, really silly, but it was still getting the message out. It was still being purposeful. So, any other questions before we wrap it up? Yeah.
I just, as an opportunity, I think, have you talked at all with the Metro Chamber, because that same time is cap to cap, and you're going to have 300 business leaders all together in DC, and I just feel like there's an opportunity to do something there.
Absolutely. And in fact, there is in the works a possible prize challenge that is based on the cap to cap. So yeah, we absolutely want to engage them and get them involved in giving, because that's going to be 3 a.m. there or here. I always get the time, it's the time change thing, Yeah, we're gonna get them. We're gonna get them on board. Yeah.
That speaks to, it's possible this has already been answered, but is there any way to schedule a donation?
No. It is an action-oriented day. So it's not only about raising money and awareness and all the things, but it's teaching people how to work in that space, and being active and becoming a donor, So they have to take that step on that day, and I think that is a really important piece. Yeah.
Based on your experience with the Arts Day of Giving, logistically for an organization on the actual Day of Giving, I mean, we're wondering staffing, how busy we're going to be with this versus our other normal daily routine things that we need to do.
Yeah.
Do I need to bring in some more volunteers to help out? We're trying to plan for this so that we can meet the challenges.
Yeah. So I'll take this last question, and then we're going to wrap it up, and so you guys can get some food, and we'll move on. But in your booklet, and on every page, it asks the question, what tools and resources do you need to implement this? So there are a lot of opportunities to use volunteers. Look at interns at the colleges. Reach out to your networks. Use your board. Go and find all those different resources that you can find, and then determine.
We'll talk about that in your panel, actually.
Yeah. But that's one of the big questions. Is you look at your resources, and then you look at what you can do, and then trying to disperse that out. So, like she said, we're going to dive deeper into that.
Jeannie, do you have a prize challenge idea? Because I do. We have one.
Do we have a prize
It
for
was
this one?
slipped to me under the table secretively.
Oh.
And I now know it. I've already chosen the winner. Someone that were in this area who asked about LinkedIn right off the bat. Somebody put their hand in the air. Did she?
Yeah,
Did
she got
get,
a
oh,
prize.
she got a prize
She's
on that?
already-
Well, we're not giving it out.
she's
I'm
done.
keeping it.
We have one?
Yeah, we do.
All right, well, give it away. Go for it, Louie.
Who was the
These people are
person
hungry.
who needed to get their keys up here? Who was that person who left their keys? They also left too. Okay. I don't really know. You did ask about LinkedIn. Well, then come on down. Come on. Come on. I'll actually explain what it is, and I'll bring it to you. It's good for one corporate entry to EPI's Great Race on July 19th, 2014. There you go. Yeah.
Epi's Great Race is in the house. Are you here?
I'm not sure.
Thank you so much for Verlene walked up to me and says, I have a prize challenge for you. So thank you so very much. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Jeannie and Louie. That was great. Your comfort and satisfaction is very important to us. So a couple things. We actually printed 220 copies of the workbook, and there are people who don't have a copy. If you happen to pick an extra one, could you please just lift it, put your hands up, and then Amy, can you grab that? And anyone else pick an extra one? Take an extra one? Okay, you have an extra one? Okay, wonderful. Oh, see? Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate it. Can you pass that down? Anyone else pick an extra one? And this is not... Okay, thank you. And who needs one? Who still needs one? Okay, so just raise your hand. Who else needed one? Okay. Oh, thank you. One more. Thank you, thank you. Anyone else? Don't be shy. No one's in trouble. Who needs an extra one? Okay, great, great. And yes, this will be available on the toolkit. Okay. And so timing-wise, I can't see back there. Okay, so we're going to break for lunch, and we only ordered enough for people, so if you could please just grab one sandwich. We'd appreciate that. And it would save Amy from having a run to go out and get more food. Let's wrap back at about, I can't see what time it is. My eyes are that. Oh, right on time. Okay, so you have about 15 minutes. Stretch your legs. We're going to start back here and dive deep into social media.